And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today on this Monday. And wow, what a last couple of days, people. So I'll be dropping a video either today or tomorrow to give more of my thoughts on this trade that just happened. For those of you who joined the live, I can't even remember what day that was now. I think it was Saturday night. For those of you who joined the live, you guys are so much appreciated. And when I went live, I hadn't even really collected my thoughts on the whole ordeal. I was just kind of giving my first reaction, which is confusion. Like I said, I don't understand if the Lakers have any interest in winning, why you get rid of your best defender and bring in another non-defender, another offensive, obviously great offensive player, but another non-defender. So yeah, but anyway, we'll talk about that more later. But let's get into the super thanks from the week. And first up, shout out to at QQ1981. This is coming from my Rob Parker goes off on LeBron James and Anthony Davis for it's ironic that I'm reading this title now. Goes off on LeBron James and Anthony Davis for needing more help video. And he comes through with the $10 super thanks, and he simply says, thanks. Thank you very, very much for the $10 super thanks. And thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to at the Doctor 3196, who was in the live with us, whatever night that was. This is coming from my Stephen A. Smith does the unforgivable to LeBron James video. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, just a few months ago, Stephen said LeBron deserved this Bronny drafting. And in less than 6 months, he wants Bronny to be taken off the court. Wishy-washy AF. Yes, to me, I would almost say Stephen A. Smith is worse than a LeBron James fanboy. For the simple fact that I feel like Stephen A. Smith knows better. And how do you know he knows better? Because of situations like this. 1 minute he's saying LeBron James deserved to have his son on the court. And the next minute he's saying he needs to take him off the court. Well, I feel like you're going to be speaking out of both sides of your mouth when you're saying stuff you really don't believe. If you're saying something that you can stand on, that's not going to change. But when you're saying stuff you really don't believe, when you're saying stuff to placate people and whatnot, you're going to wind up talking out of both sides of your mouth. So until the day that Stephen A. Smith comes out and says, LeBron James, you're nowhere near the GOAT conversation. You shouldn't be mentioned in the same sentence with Michael Jordan. Your flopping is ridiculous. I'm tired of you not playing defense and having to praise you on ESPN every day. Until Stephen A. Smith can come out and say stuff like that, he's going to keep double talking. I mean, just in the same video where he was talking about, or in the same segment where he was talking about pleading with LeBron as a father to not do this to Bronny, he was also talking that crap about LeBron James being the second greatest player and blah, 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 and great this and great that. So yeah, you know, it's almost Stephen A. Smith is maybe worse than a fanboy. But anyway, shout out to at the Doctor 3196. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks, and thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, Coming from the same video, shout out to @SwanDaily. Comes through with the $2 super thanks, and he says, we need to start calling you the basketball psychologist. Your insight on the mindset aspect of the game is impeccable. It keeps me coming back to this channel. Thank you so very much. I mean, like I said, when I decided to do this YouTube thing, I wanted to come at another angle that doesn't get talked about often, because when we're talking about sports and comparing people, but more specifically, what brought me to YouTube is getting tired of them lying to us about LeBron and lying to us about this current era of basketball, or non-basketball, I should say. But, you know, everybody talks about the numbers. Everybody talks about the numbers and accolades. And my thing is, it starts with the mentality. Like, if you have a conversation with Michael Jordan and have a conversation with LeBron James, you will already know who's the better basketball player. You'll know who is the better basketball player before seeing them play, if you just listen to what they say and how they talk about the game. But anyway, shout out to @SwanDaily. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to @Militarize. This is coming from my LeBron James cursed himself wearing the number 23. And he says, love the content. My comment is in the video about the number 23. Keep up the great work. Yeah, so thanks so much for the $2 super thing. Now, as far as the comment, I might have to go search for that. So I can see what you were saying about the number 23. But shout out to you. Thanks for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, coming from the same video, shout out to Alex Santiago 3181. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, you know MJ is the GOAT when LeBron and others try to mimic every aspect of the true GOAT's life. They wear his number. They wear his shoes. They copy his routines and moves. I would argue LeBron doesn't copy his moves. Well, that's not true. He attempts to copy his moves. He just can't do them. We all remember the failed attempt that I can't even remember what team it was, but when LeBron James attempted Michael Jordan's 98 shot on Byron Russell, except LeBron James looks clunky, and of course he missed a shot. We all remember when LeBron James tried to shoot free throws with his eyes closed, when he can't shoot them. Everything about LeBron James is confusing. He can't shoot them with his eyes open. So yeah, I guess he does attempt to copy his moves. He just can't do it. But anyway, he says they copy his style. They do trash Space Jam sequels and play golf in their free time, yet Bron and others never come close to Jordan. I'm from Ohio, and I really never liked or admired LaFlop. His game, his style, his shoes, his performances, none of it is any good, to be honest. Shout out to Alex Santiago 3181, and especially shout out because he's someone from Ohio. But yeah, I mean, this is facts. You know, for the life of me, between LeBron James doing his ridiculous version of the powder toss, between Space Jam, I mean, I can't figure out for the life of me why you would want to do a Space Jam 2 and not, again, it really just goes back to copying the number. It's like, why wouldn't you want to wear your own number to try to make it iconic? Why wouldn't you want your own basketball movie? Why are you trying to emulate Michael Jordan shooting free throws with his eyes closed? Why don't you do something new to you? Oh, well, because being original takes practice and hard work. And we know that is what LeBron James is avoiding. LeBron James is into the shortcuts. But anyway, once again, shout out to Alex Santiago 3181. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you for supporting the channel. And next up, shout out to @G, the great one. This is coming from my Stephen A. Smith does the unforgivable to LeBron James video. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, LeBron turned his own son into a punchline for the sake of his own selfish agenda. Shaking my head. Bronny is clearly not cut out for the NBA. We could go out there and do what he's doing. Seriously, I'm coming. You grew up hooping, right? I know you could at least average 6% from the field and 0% from the three like Bronny. I like to think I hit 1 3. Even if it's by accident. Out of 16 3-pointers, I would like to think one of them would go in by accident. He says, this whole situation is pathetic. The only thing that could make it worse is when LeBron gets Bryce on the Lakers too. Laughing emoji. I still don't understand how the Lakers let this happen to their franchise. If Kobe was here, he would definitely be speaking out against this BS. Facts. Wilt was also Wilt was also never one to hold his tongue. Can you imagine what he would be saying right about now? Bronny looks so small out there. Is this kid really 6'2"? He looks like a ball boy on the court. When I see Bronny, I see a much smaller version of LeBron. This is what LeBron's game would look like if he was the same size as Bronny. Stephen A. Smith can save his words because he was the one endorsing this BS from the beginning. He is bought and paid for just like the others. Facts. Anyway, congratulations on hitting 10K. This is definitely one of the best channels on YouTube. Hands down, you are definitely making a difference. So keep the content coming, and I absolutely, definitely will do that. Because like I said, it's about more than basketball. It's really about, the state of society. And, what we're seeing in the NBA is just a reflection of this entitled culture that we're living in. So, yeah, I will keep the content coming. But, what more can we say about LeBron? I mean, honestly, what he has been allowed to do to the Lakers is just, is really mind-blowing. I mean, what LeBron James has done this season to the Lakers, I mean, what can we even say about this? And, Bronny, I don't wish ill on Bronny in any kind of way, but the fact is this, is Bronny is going to suffer the repercussions in one way or another for whatever choices he allows the duck to get him into. Bronny is going to have to suffer that. So, whether that be his NBA career is cut short or the criticism keeps coming, this is something Bronny is just going to have to deal with. Because, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is ridiculous, again, that Quincy Olivari is cut and you still got Bronny on the court. This is like everything the opposite of what basketball should be. Everything the opposite of what sports, period, should be. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. The Lakers, you know what? I don't even know what to say. Like I said, my mind is still blown by this trade. But anyway, shout out to @G the Great One, coming through with the $2 super thanks, coming through with the great comment, and you are greatly appreciated as always. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. People, I guess wow, this season is something else, people. Who knows what else could happen before the end of the season. I've been hearing stuff about LeBron potentially leaving the Lakers. Is this something that's going to happen? But yeah, LeBron did a number on the Lakers this season. This was the grand finale. But anyway, next up, this is coming from my LeBron James. Cursed himself wearing the number 23. Shout out to @InTheGroove56. Coming through with the $10 super thanks. He says, thanks. Here is another example of common sense. LeBron meant to choose 32, but Magic already had that locked down as a Laker. So he thought he'd reverse it and thus creating a major brain fart thinking he earned the right to wear 23. The disrespect replaced the admiration for MJ and created a media frenzy and a fan base of delusional and ridiculous fans. Facts, and more facts. The disrespect replaced the admiration. Yeah. He goes on, he says, LeBron fans are living the fairy tale of the emperor's new clothes, being fooled by the tailor into wearing the new clothes, but in fact, the emperor was naked. Wearing 23 without having the attributes or the mental capacity that the number represents, he may as well play without a jersey at all. Last but not least, the NBA should be ashamed for introducing false prophets, labeling the chosen one in the wake of Black Jesus. When LeBron can only walk on the court and flop on imaginary contact and his fans think it's some kind of divine intervention. You can't be the GOAT if you continue to speak with the forked tongue. The second coming of MJ will come unannounced and identified by his dominant and competitive mindset and not by a manufactured media dream. Fanboys, put a lid on your garbage can. It's beginning to stink. Shout out to @InTheGroove56. Now, this last part, what he says, the second coming of MJ will come unannounced and identified by his dominant and competitive mindset. Fanboys, this is something that you guys, I've been trying to explain this. I've been trying to explain this to you on this channel for over a year now. This is the thing that you guys really don't get. So let's talk about this for just a second. Michael Jordan, I would say after his first three-peat, he was probably, for the most part, recognized as the GOAT after his first three-peat. But why is that? That was because of how he played on the court. Again, people already were saying Michael Jordan is the best basketball player they have ever seen. Again, this is before he set foot. When you're talking about Bobby Knight in the Olympics, like people were already saying like this guy is the best basketball player I've ever seen. And it is identified by his dominant and competitive mindset. This is everything. It's the dominant and competitive mindset that drove Michael Jordan to be as skilled as he was. It's the dominant and competitive mindset that drove Michael Jordan to be as maniacal, to be as relentless in practice and in the game. Some people say maybe more so in practice. It is that dominant and competitive mindset. And from that dominant and competitive mindset, everything else was birthed from that. Everything else that came, all the praise, all the fame, all the accolades, all the shoe deals, all the commercials, the influence on the culture, all that came from the mindset, from the dominant and competitive mindset that drove him to want to have no weaknesses in his game. This is what you fanboys, and this is why I started this channel. Like I said, it is about the mindset. And exactly, like the actual person that comes through that will be the quote-unquote next MJ. Actually, first of all, he won't be the next MJ. He will be the first of whoever he is. But to be the person who I would say people recognize as the GOAT, if it happens, if and when it happens, it will be readily apparent by how this guy plays on the court from the get-go. It won't take the media telling us. It won't take the media selling us. It will just be readily apparent. Like, we will look at this guy, and it won't be because he jumps high. It won't be because he can stiff arm people on the way to the basket. It will be because he checks all the boxes. He has the skills and continued growth. Continued growth from year to year, but the mindset of a competitor that we see on this court, this guy does not quit. This guy doesn't know how to quit. This guy may have a sickness with how competitive he is. It will be apparent. And we will already be saying this guy might be the best player we've seen, but he won't have the title of the GOAT until he earns it the way that Jordan did. So as far as I'm concerned, LeBron James could have won 10 championships. With the way that he was going about things, even if he'd have won all 10, he still would not be the GOAT. Because of how he did it. Because of him altering things. Because of him always trying to shift the goalpost to his advantage. It's not in his mindset to be the GOAT. The GOAT mindset is a mindset of overcoming. LeBron James' mindset is a mindset of manipulation. It's a difference, fanboys. I know it hurts to hear, but we love the fact that you hurt, so... but anyway, shout out to @InTheGroove56. Thank you so much for the $10 super thanks. Thank you for the comment, and thank you for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to @KenShiroBoss. And this is coming from my live stream. The Lakers trade Anthony Davis for Luka. He says, I haven't watched this yet, but it goes to show that LeBron is the worst teammate ever. Everyone is just a pawn in the 4 and 6 kingdom. Congrats on hitting 10K subscribers. Shout out to you. Thanks so much for the $5 super thanks. And yeah, you know, I've been hearing some people say that they don't think LeBron James had anything to do with it. But honestly, I don't care what the reports say. I don't care what LeBron tweets. LeBron is not a believable person. I feel like we all know this by now. So, you know, everybody in the world can come out and tell me that LeBron James had no idea. But the problem is you can't convince me that a guy with enough power to get his podcast partner hired and his son hired, you can't convince me that a guy with that much power had no idea. You can't convince me of that. It'll take some serious evidence and proof, and it has to be other than LeBron James and people in mainstream media saying it. Like, it has to be, I don't know what it would take. But anyway, shout out to @KenShiroBoss. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. And last but not least, shout out to @OneHawk. This is coming from the live stream. He comes through with the $5 super thanks, and he says, thanks, I'm waiting for the 25th of this month when they meet. This was a dumb trade and made the Lakers weaker. I agree. Like I said, to me, you just got rid of any defense that you had. Like, not only got rid of, you got rid of any defense that you had. You bought in another player that whines just like LeBron. What are we getting ready to witness, people? My goodness, LeBron James whines enough. LeBron James whines enough, and he whines so much, and as the so-called leader of the team, he has the whole team whining. And now you're bringing another superstar whiner. I don't know, people. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Yeah, shout out to everybody who continues to support the channel. You guys are very, very much appreciated. And like I say at the end of all of these videos, please continue to support all of the content creators that bring you the truth unfiltered, that bring you their honest takes. Don't have to always agree, but you know that they are being honest and truthful with you about their takes and opinions. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops. Shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants. Shout out to Phenomenal Fitness. Shout out to Man Down Sports. Shout out to Sports T. Shout out to 93Z. Shout out to Brandon Love Sports, Too Raw for Sports, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro, Uncut Hoops, Scap Attack. Yeah, and anybody else I'm missing, drop it in the comments. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments about any of these topics. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.